We're going to talk about William Hamilton. So William Hamilton, I'm going to really try and cut out the waffle, because there's a lot going on with William Hamilton. And if you look up William Hamilton and you get a grip of what he was trying to do, you'll really understand this era better, in this Grand Tour era better, in Naples and Italy. First thing about it is these are William Hamilton prints. We'll get onto that. The thing about Italy in the 18th century, it wasn't Italy now. It was a different geography. It was different kingdoms, and the court of Naples was the Naples area. Above it, you had the Pope in charge. There was Sicily. There was Spanish problems. There was Austria-Hungary problems. It was past the parcel. Italy was very much past the parcel, and the English, George III, sent Sir William Hamilton to Naples to be the extraordinary ambassador to the court of Naples. This guy came down to Naples and bought a house in the town, bought a house on the coast, and bought another house inland up the hill. And he was married to Emma Hamilton, who was the girlfriend of Lord Nelson. And Lord Nelson in the area was extremely, extremely popular. In fact, in Sicily, he'd rescued the nobility there. And much later on, he was given a town called Bronte with a huge amount of land, and the Nelson family until very recently owned it, and just sold it quite recently. Just kept the graveyard. So you've got Nelson, Emma Hamilton, William Hamilton, George III. Add to that the local people. His job was to associate himself with the local people, write a letter to London every 10 days to tell them what's going on in the area. There was Malta nearby, there was shipping, there were travellers, there were grand tourists, there was commerce, there was trade, there was a religion, there was the trade in classical items. There was a lot going on for this Hamilton person to keep an eye on. But in between his official duties, he was very interested in the local area, the Dolce Vita. So there would be eating, there would be drinking, there would be merriment. But there was also Pompeii, Herculaneum, Vesuvius, Rome, and a lot of ancient sites which were starting to be dug up. So one of the things that William Hamilton did was take the Warwick vase back to England. He had a friend called Greville, the Earl of Warwick, who was the richest man in England. And they found in the garden of Hadrian's villa a broken vase made of alabaster. And they made a base vase, and they stuck on the surface all the old bits they could find, and then they carved the rest to match. This alabaster vase, 2,000-year-old vase, is currently in the Burrell collection in Scotland, but it used to be in the garden and conservatory at Warwick Castle. There was the Portland vase, which was a glass vase made of overlay, so it was a dark black or blue vase made of glass with these cameo style characters on the top. That was sent by William Hamilton back to England. There was an eagle, there was lots of different things. Wedgwood got hold of the Portland vase, just going back, and made the Portland vase out of jasperware in blue and white. And Wedgwood was really closely connected to it, because the fashion in England was to get these sort of images. This is a print from 1766. Hamilton commissioned a book in 1766, which was made in Naples, and the book started off with two frontispieces, one in Latin, one in English, which basically said something to the effect, a cabinet, a collection of ancient Greek and Roman items excavated in the Etruscan area, an item belonging to William Hamilton. So this book catalogued and showed vases in black and white, and lots of scenes like this in colour, some single page, some double page. The book was 50% text, 50% pictures. And Wedgwood got hold of these designs, and probably some pots as well, original pots, and he made a range of pottery in England with these designs on, with these friezes, and he used red pottery or terracotta as the base material. He called his factory in Barlaston or Stoke-on-Trent, Wedgwood called his factory Etruria to nod to the place that William Hamilton had written about. So you've got fashion as well, coming from Naples up to England, and you have the original items going, the excavated items going, stonework and mosaics and statues, and then you have the book. The book was printed and engraved in Naples, and I suspect it was sent to England and bound in England, and the book was dedicated to King George III. He would have had a free copy. If you look at a lot of the books in England about pictures, if a book about pictures in England, an old book, has an example from your house, you'll get a free one. If it shows a picture from the Royal Collection, they'll get a free book. That's how it worked. It worked by just subscription. So these prints are from the 1766 book by Sir William Hamilton, who paid for it to be made locally in Naples. So they're Italian prints, and they are hand coloured. The engraving would have been, etching would have been black and white, then they would have, in Italy, painted them by hand, and they're extremely well painted. This is a single plate, and the big ones have got white heightening on to make them really stick out. It's quite a dense, deep colour, and the idea really with it is to mimic stucco, because these were images taken from murals in excavated areas. This next print is a fantastic double plate print from this 1766 book. You can see it without a shine because it's out of the frame. It will have been on two separate pieces of paper. This one has been very carefully attached together. It's come out of a picture frame. The design is becoming fashionable again in terms of collectors. These things are getting expensive. In London, you'll see the prices are rising. There are later copies printed afterwards, which are later and sometimes small, not quite as nice. They're a bit more glossy. But these 1766 prints are fabulous. There's such a lot of history behind them. And people in England in 1766, when they saw this, couldn't believe their eyes. It was so exotic, so exciting. And William Hamilton was in the right place at the right time. This one has the white heightening I was mentioning. So it's an etching, black and white etching, printed with this hand-coloured infill. So we've discussed how they arose, why people like them, why they're interesting. Let's talk about the money. They often come up for sale in sets. To have a whole set, you'd have to have hundreds and hundreds of them. They're very rarely a whole set, and it seems to be mainly the coloured ones that people want. This one's mounted in a very nice coloured mount, which really goes well. I quite like this green as well. Green was a very popular colour in the 20th century to mount engravings generally. Prices. You can look them up on Sotheby's, and you can look them up at Christie's, and you can see what they're fetching. I think that because I've been trying to buy them in auctions all for a couple of years. I've been trying to buy these. They always go so high. I did buy this collection recently, fortunately, quite pleased to get it. But because everyone wants to buy them, you can tell you're onto a winner. There's not a limitless supply of them, because they were from these books. As I say, these prints were taken from these books, so there's not a lot of them. I think that they will become really desirable things to have. It's a sort of a sixth sense that they are good quality, they are rare, they're interesting, and you can see from the auction sites, search sites that other people are interested as well. You can look at the watches, you can see how many other people are interested in them, and it's just a sign that they're going to go higher and higher. It's very similar with Fra Angelico. We used to buy these Fra Angelico pictures in the gold frames, beautiful Gothic gold frames. 5 years ago, no one wanted them. Suddenly, they've taken off. They're just taken off. It's the same sort of thing, and when you get that feeling, as I say, it's sort of a sixth sense. It is often correct. So good luck with your selections, and I hope I haven't bored you talking about William Hamilton.